Okay, welcome back everyone. Today we are going to start looking at 8.3. We're going to keep moving with chapter 8. I know we're probably going at a quicker pace than we typically would in school, but I am enjoying seeing the work that you guys are turning in and the progress that you're making. I also think it's fun to see those Padlet posts and your responses to that, not something so math related all the time, but just some way to keep connected. So today, like I said, we're going to be moving into 8.3, looking at solving simple inequalities. Again, there's a blank copy of these notes attached on Schoology that you can upload a Notability and follow along with. I highly encourage you to do that, just so you have a resource for you as you work through the extra practice associated with 8.3. I'm also going to be posting an extension or enrichment extra practice for 8.3 if you're looking for something else to do or a challenge for yourself. You can find that on Schoology within the optional enrichment folder. It is not something that you need to turn in, just extra resources for you. Okay, so as we go through today, hopefully you have your notes up, pulled in front of you as you watch. You can pause the video, rewind, whatever it is that you need to do to get all the information down for yourself to make sure that you have as best of an understanding for this as possible. Okay, so we have two objectives with our lesson today. We are going to be able to determine solutions of inequalities using our greater than and less than symbols. And also you're going to be able to use a number line to represent solutions of inequalities. Okay, so the big term that we're talking about today in this new section is an inequality, which is something that you might be familiar with already from elementary school. But just as a review, an inequality, we can write our definition down, is a mathematical sentence that compares two unequal expressions. Okay, a mathematical sentence that compares two unequal expressions. And when we're writing that sentence, we're going to use the symbols that you see here in the chart. So our first symbol is shown to be greater than. So in our chart, we're going to fill out that this says greater than or represents greater than. Okay. The next symbol is our less than symbol, less than. A number is less than the other number or variable given to you. Our next symbol looks similar to our first one in that it's greater than, but if we see it's got this line below our symbol, so that means that it's greater than or equal to a number. Okay, and similarly, that last symbol that we see is just like less than, but it has that line underneath, so that means that it's less than or equal to. Okay, so we're going to use this chart as we start to look at some questions here, where the directions ask us to rewrite each statement using our inequality symbols. Okay, that would be our first step. Then what we're going to think about is identifying a possible solution to each inequality that would make our statement true. So if we look at number one is saying h is greater than 8. So I'm going to start with my h, my keyword greater than, so I'm going to look at my chart, what's my greater than symbol? And it's greater than 8. And that would be my inequality statement for this sentence given to us. Now again, I want us to think about, so what could be a possible solution? What number could I substitute in for h that would make this statement true, where h is greater than 8? Well, we could really pick any number that's bigger than 8. So I'm just going to pick 9 to show that 9 is greater than 8. 9 is greater than 8. That's true. That would work. Okay, if you look at number 2, y is less than 10. So y is less than 10. What could be a solution that would make the statement true? What number could we plug in for y that would make it less than 10? Well, we could do 9 again. 9 is less than 10. That's true. So 9 is a possible solution for y. Part of its solution set. Okay, number 3, a less than or equal to 25. We have a. I want to look for my less than or equal to symbol, and that's less than or equal to 25. Okay, so what could be a solution for a that's less than or equal to 25? Well, a could be 24. 24 is less than or equal to 25. That's true. Could 25 also be a response? Could that be a possible solution? Is 25 less than or equal to 25? That's true. So 25 could be a possible solution to this inequality. Last one here with number 4, k is greater than or equal to 56. Keywords greater than or equal to. We have k greater than or equal to 56. Okay, we could pick any number that's equal to 56 or greater than it. So let's say we have 57. 57 is greater than or equal to 56. That's true. We have all of our inequality statements with possible solutions. Okay, so this is kind of just our brief overview of what an inequality is, how you take a statement here and translate it then into variables, symbols, and numbers. Okay, you will need to do this on your extra practice, so please make sure you are looking for those keywords and reviewing this as needed. Okay, the next thing that we are going to be looking at, our second objective, is then to be able to graph inequalities on a number line. So we worked on number lines way back at the beginning of the year. That was like one of our first topics that we worked on. So now we're going to revisit our number lines just a little bit, but also use the inequalities that we just learned about in the previous page here and kind of combine them together. Okay, so when graphing inequalities on a number line, depending on our inequality symbol, it's going to be represented by something different. Okay, so when we have a greater than or less than symbol here, our first 2 boxes, we're going to represent that with an open circle on our number line. Showing that whatever number it is that we are starting with is not included. Number not included in solution set. Okay. When we look at our symbols that are greater than or less than or equal to, both of them that are equal to the number, we're going to represent that by a closed circle. To show that the number is included in the solution set. Okay, so when we have that equal sign, we just need to fill in our dot. When we don't have that equal sign below the line underneath our symbol, then we're just going to keep our circle open. All right, so let's take what we know now with what kind of graphing symbol we're going to use for each inequality and start writing some number lines given an inequality. All right, so if I start with number 1, x is greater than 9. So right off the bat, if x is greater than 9, am I going to have an open or a closed circle? We're going to have an open circle because we don't have that equal sign underneath, and our number is not going to be included in the solution set. So if I start with my number line, my recommendation is that you give the number that's given to you, put the number that's given to you right in the center, and I want you to write two numbers greater than and two numbers that are less than that number. So we kind of have a good set of numbers here. Obviously, a number line continues on and on in both directions, but this is what I'm going to be looking for, 5 different numbers within your number line here. Okay, so you can choose a different color or you can use the same color. I'm going to choose a different color just by habit. So x is greater than 9. Because we don't have that equal sign, that means my circle on 9 is going to be open. And now I want to show that x, whatever number, x is a variable, could be any number, that represents all numbers that are greater than 9. So I'm going to shade a line and draw an arrow to show that x could be any of those numbers to the right of 9, any of those greater numbers than 9. And that's all you have to do for these types of problems with your number line. Okay, let's take a look at number 2. A is less than 8. Less than, if I go up to my chart, I want to see where is less than. Okay, it's right here. That means I'm going to have another open circle on my number line showing that 8 is not included in my solution set. It could not be a possible answer for A. I'm going to draw my number line. Again, I'm going to put 8 in the center. I want two numbers that are bigger and two numbers that are smaller. If my symbol is less than, that means I'm going to have an open circle on 8. And now I want to show all of the solutions that would be less than 8. So I'm going to draw my line going this direction with my arrow to show that A could be any of those numbers to the left of 8 because they are smaller than 8 or less than 8. Okay, hopefully this is making some sense. Let's look at number 3. Y is less than or equal to 5. If I look at my less than or equal to symbol up here, now I have a closed circle because of that equal sign, meaning that 5 could be a possible answer for Y. I'm going to draw out my number line. I have 5, two numbers above, two numbers below. Now instead of drawing an open circle, I'm going to put a closed circle. Y is less than or equal to 5, so my direction of my line, my solutions, is going to be to the left, showing less than 5. Now number 4, Z is greater than or equal to 13. I have that equal part, so that means I'm going to have a closed circle. Draw out my number line with my 5 points. I have 13, 2 bigger, 2 smaller. Equal to tells me that it's closed, so I'm going to put a closed circle on 13. Z is greater than or equal to, so I want to show all the numbers that are greater than Z with an arrow. Okay. So that is how to represent solutions of each inequality on, or of an inequality on a number line. We're taking that inequality statement and just representing it on a number line. Okay, if we look at our last part for today on our notes here, now we have the flip side of it. Now we're given a number line and we need to write an inequality statement based on the picture of the number line. Okay, and we're going to be using the variable x for both of these examples just to keep it simple. Okay, so starting with number 1, the first thing that we want to figure out is, do you have an open or a closed circle? That's going to help us to determine whether we have just greater than or less than, or if we have those equal to. So for number 1, we have a closed circle. So that means x is going to be either greater than or equal to some number or less than or equal to some number. Well, our point is on 7, so I'm going to put that on the other side. Now we just need to determine which symbol is going to go in between x and 7. Is it representing all the numbers that are bigger, so x would be greater than or equal to 7? Or is it showing all the numbers that are less than 7, so x would be less than or equal to 7? Well, we know 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, all of those numbers to the right would be greater than, so our symbol is going to be greater than or equal to 7. So x is greater than or equal to 7. Okay, number 2, we have an open circle. So that means we're going to have greater than or less than. We have our x. Our point or circle is on the number 10, so that's going to be our number that we use in our statement. Now we just need to decide, is it showing the numbers that are less than 10 or greater than 10? Well, my solution, my arrow includes 9 and it includes 8. So that means that it's showing any number that would be less than 10. So x is less than 10. And we have our inequality there. Okay? So this is our big focus here with 8.3. Everything that we covered here. Hopefully you were following along and taking notes. Again, you can go back and rewind anything that you need to hear again. Please make sure that you are using this as you work through your practice. Again, as always, I'm here to help you out. So if you have questions, please send me an email, send me a message on Schoology. Join our Zoom sessions if you have questions, or leave a note at the bottom of your extra practice if it's something that you need to let me know. I am trying to make myself as available as possible for you guys to be as successful as possible. So please make sure you are doing that for yourself.